How I finally left and filed for divorce. Let's talk about it. I know you guys are going to already ask because you're not here for me, but baby Anthony is right here. He is watching Elmo and Grouchland and does not want to be interrupted. But so I shared this on my Instagram stories. So if you want to hear stuff first, that's probably where you'll hear it. But on Christmas of 2021, because I filed for divorce in December of 2021, Anthony was coming to town to see his daughter. And I found out from my son, who was 6 at the time, that he was there when his dad called the police to let the police know that there was going to be some type of altercation. Like if Anthony came to the house to pick up his daughter, or whatever. Now, I had not had a conversation with him about this. He knew that Anthony was coming because he was listening to my phone calls. But I didn't know this. So he had called the police to basically warn the police that there was going to be some type of altercation, which if you love Jesus so much, why are you trying to fight? This man's just trying to come pick up his daughter for Christmas. Anyway, day after Christmas, or it was the day after Christmas because I filed on the 27th, or the first protective order was on the 27th. But I gotta watch the baby, make sure he don't try to crawl off the bed. He probably is. I'm watching you. I had made all of this food for Christmas. We actually had Christmas dinner at my grandmother's house. My grandmother, who was just here in town. Hold on, baby's gonna try to crawl off the bed. Instead of, I went to my grandma's house the day after Christmas, and we had a Christmas dinner. And I told my son's dad that he was not invited. I did not want him there. Did not want him at my grandmother's house. Penelope's dad also came to that dinner at my grandmother's house. My grandmother had gotten Huxley a Hot Wheel toy for Christmas, and I was supposed to be going the next day to take Penelope to stay with her dad. He was staying in a hotel. She was going to stay with him for a couple of days. And we were going to be meeting at Target in Columbia, and I was going to be taking Huxley to get Hot Wheel cars from Target. I had made food that I had from Christmas that I had packed up for them to take to the hotel, and Huxley's dad was like, "Who is this food for?" And I said it was for Penelope and his dad. He started going crazy, throwing the food across the room. I think it was crab dip, so I was very upset about that because it's super expensive. My son, of course, started crying. Penelope's crying. Like, everybody's freaking out at this point. He grabs me. I tried to pick up my son. When my son was calling for me, I pick up my son. He grabs me. I pull my arm away from him. It was like a whole altercation. And he's screaming and yelling at me, telling me I'm not taking his son out of the house. And I'm like, I can take my son anywhere I want to take my son. At this time, we had no court orders or whatever. I hadn't filed for divorce. He's screaming at me, telling me he's going to call CPS. We end up getting out of the house, go to Target, meet Anthony. Anthony was actually on the phone when all this happened. I tell Anthony, and Anthony's like, you need to go to the police. So we drive down to the police station. And when we get to the police station, this is another way I know he had trackers in my car. When I get to the police station, we're coming out of the police station, and they were like, you have to go down to the commissioner that's at the jail. So we're leaving out of the police station. We were only there for about 3 minutes, and he comes speeding into the parking lot. We jump in our cars, try to get away, because I don't know at this point what he's doing. And how did you know I was down at the police station? And if you were going to the police station, why hadn't you already gone to the police station? Because I already gone to Target. But he knew where I was because of his tracker in my car, is what I believe. So we start heading down to the city called Jessup, where the jail was for the commissioner's office. And he was, in my opinion, trying to run me off the road. I'm on the phone with 911. He keeps swerving into me. I'm having to swerve off the road. In court, he testifies that he had somewhere to go and that I was driving too slow. So he never actually denies the things that I said that he did. The police end up having me pull over on the side of the road just for my safety, and they meet me there. They say, just, let him do whatever he's going to do, see if he'll go around you, pull over on the side of the road, we're going to meet you there. The police officers meet me on the side of the road. They end up staying with me for a little over an hour or so. They had gotten a call that he was down at the commissioner's office. I think what he was trying to do was file charges against me before I could file what was actually happening against him. And so, I'm talking to the police officers. They're helping me. I have my son in my car. Anthony had Penelope in his car. He took her to the hotel just so that she wouldn't have to see that. But I didn't want Huxley to go with Anthony because I didn't want that to be a whole big thing. So I ended up getting a protective order. Once I finally was able to go down to the commissioner's office in Maryland, they have not just regular protective orders, they also have what they call an extreme risk protective order. And that's basically if they feel that you are in imminent risk of danger, like your life is at risk if they don't grant you this extra protection. And he ended up getting arrested that night. So I had a protective order, and that's how people always say, like, why didn't you take your son with you? I did take my son with me. I had my son with me. So it wasn't just like I just got up and was like, oh, I'm moving to Virginia and I'm leaving my son here. I had my son with me. I tried to protect my son. But that's initially how I got out. I had been talking to a divorce lawyer a few weeks before that. And so after that incident happened, they showed up and they were there with me in court for the protective order. And it was really crazy because if you live in Howard County, you might know this, but a friend of mine, just like a few days prior to that, she was in a really tumultuous like divorce situation with her ex and like custody situation. He unalived her. He did it like on Facebook Live. So I was just terrified. He literally like he had the kids. He like drove over to her house. He's on live like telling like he's sick of her. Well, actually no, he had a girlfriend that was also pregnant at the time and she broke up with him. He went to the girlfriend's house, unalived the pregnant girlfriend, and then drove with the kids in his car to the ex-wife's house. He's on Facebook Live, and literally you see my friend on Facebook Live like come to the door and he's like, it's your day, bitch, and unalives her. So I was already like very much on edge, and just that was a case that was in our county. So they were not taking like any chances with what was going on. But, oh, that one's empty. Does I have another one? Who stole oh, there it is. So yeah, very scary time. But that's how I ended up leaving. My attorneys met me there to be in court with me for the protective orders and the extreme risk protective order. And I got those granted. He tried to get one against me. I didn't get any criminal charges because he said I didn't cause him any pain or anything. He ended up showing up 2 weeks later and said that he thinks that he didn't say that I did it intentionally, but he had a scratch on his pinky. That he believed was from my ring. It's like, okay, that's still not something that I did to you intentionally, even if it did happen, but something that could happen while you're in the process of fighting a woman who's holding her child. But yeah, that's how I got out. And we ended up, because I filed for divorce, my attorneys, and I don't necessarily agree with the advice, and I ended up changing attorneys, but my attorneys said that it would be better to have my protective order, my final protective order hearings held in circuit court, the family court, where I had also filed for a divorce. The judge didn't agree with that, and he thought it should be heard back in district court. So when we went to court 3 weeks later, I think it was, my protective orders ended up being dropped in that court, and they said that I would have to refile in district court. And at that point, because of some of the stuff that he had done, he had gotten into the house, and I believe that he left a single bullet on my nightstand, even though he wasn't supposed to have guns or any of that stuff. And he still claims that he didn't. No, this guy. Look at that.
Abby.
What?
When you gonna stop playing?
When you gonna stop playing? Do you like my hair?
I love you.
How much? Ugh. Is it like your favorite?
Yeah, it's my favorite. Gus like it too, right, Gus? God! Hey, a boy. Yeah. Hey, a boy. What's up, my boy? What's up, my boy?
You know I hate my hair like this, right?
Yeah, then change it. If you don't like it, change it.
I can't do it the other way. I don't know how to do it.
I thought you have a hair appointment.
I do.
What's wrong?
This. I look stupid.
You don't look stupid. You look great.
I feel stupid.
You know?